from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Good night and welcome to the GBN Television News for Tuesday, October 19th, 2021. Coming up in the news this evening, no charges yet against 5 Trinidadian nationals captured in movie-style sea chase following daylight bank robbery in Carriacou. Students return to physical classrooms for a 2-week test period from November 1st. Government backpedals on regulations for daycare centers but makes no changes to the curfew. From an initially planned 15-student program to more than 200 students, Bredge Learning Institute beams with CXC success stories. Now it's over to Krista Campbell for what's to come in regional, international news as well as sports.
It's great to see you, Blossom. As we pan across the Caribbean on this terrific Tuesday, what we find is the St. Lucia Labor Minister is in dialogue with the private sector on COVID-19 vaccination mandate, and internationally, China denies claims that it test-fired new hypersonic missile capable of carrying a nuclear weapon. Sporting fanatics, Grenada and other Caribbean nations to be host venues for England's T20 International and Test Series tours. You'll hear more about that in our sports roundup.
Thank you, Krista. We'll bring you the details of these and other stories right after this.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
Thanks for joining us with the news in detail. I am Blossom Alexis Welsh. Top story tonight, police have remained tight-lipped with all information related to yesterday's daring daylight robbery at Grenada Cooperative Bank in Carriacou and the group of men detained in connection with the brazen crime. Up to news time, no charges have been laid on the 5 men who have been identified as nationals of Trinidad and Tobago. Griselina John has been in hot pursuit of the details.
The Royal Grenada Police Force is in for high commendation following the heroic apprehension of 5 alleged non-national robbers who attempted to flee the Sister Isle by boat on Monday. GBN captured it firsthand just around 8 p.m. Monday as the Grenada Coast Guard vessel pulled up just outside the fire station on the Carnage with the captured men on board. Up to news time, no charges were laid against the 5 men identified as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Local police, however, remain tight-lipped on the identities of these men. However, Trinidad media reports say all 5 men are from Tobago and have been identified as Keon Dick, Jabari Roach, Akim John, Nashon Scotland, and Alan Melville. Men were cornered by Grenada's Coast Guard and apprehended shortly after a masked armed robbery at the Grenada Cooperative Bank branch in Carriacou. Journalist on the Sister Isle, Royal Patterson, spoke to GBN's sister station about what unfolded on Monday.
We learned that 2 men entered the bank. One wearing a hoodie and, of course, his mask, because they must have masks to, of course, enter the bank now as of the COVID-19 protocol. And both of them entered. And while at the bank, I understand that the security guard, and he said as they entered the bank, now what I learned, as they entered the bank, he actually wanted to remove his hoodie. And removing his hoodie, he pulled out a gun and, of course, pointed to his head and began going to the teller and robbing the bank. What is also interesting too is that a customer was at a bank at the time, spoke to me a short while ago, and he told me that he was in a bank at the time. And the men came in. He said both of them had a gun. And as they came in, and as the officer asked them, the security guard asked one of the guys to remove his hoodie. He was wearing a hoodie over his head. He pulled out the gun, and the other one pulled out the gun and said, everybody, put your hands up and go down on the floor. And he said, everyone went down on the floor. Then one of the guys proceeded to the teller, passed the money. She passed out the money. Then went rushed out. And after they rushed out, of course, they made their way up to the Esplanade. That's just about maybe, I would take out 200 meters from Cobb Bank, just on the corner of Middle Street and Main Street. Went into a boat and on the Esplanade, made their way off to the northern side, and apparently made the attack around gunpoint, came around gunpoint and was heading south. And for information, they were caught.
There are no reports of injuries in this daylight robbery mission, nor is there any indication of how much money was taken from the bank. Police say they have to be meticulous to ensure that all angles of their investigation follow the letter of the law to ensure the case against the 5 men is not jeopardized. Grenada Cooperative Bank branch on Tuesday morning suspended its service for a few hours before they resumed operation. Christina John, GBN News.
Meanwhile, in news just in, the Royal Grenada Police Force confirmed a suspected suicide by a foreign national. Information reaching GBN News indicate that an Australian national who was discovered motionless by staff at a hotel located in the south of the island was due to leave the island today. He was scheduled to depart at around 2 p.m. Investigations are ongoing into this suspected suicide. In other news, while vaccination is not mandatory, the government, via the Ministry of Education, is encouraging teachers to take the jab and parents of students 12 years and over to get their children vaccinated. This as the Minister of Education, Emmeline Pear, announced proposed timelines for the resumption of schools in a phased approach. Gerard Joseph has the details.
A test period of 2 weeks from November 1st to the 12th has been scheduled for the return to physical classrooms for some students. Education Minister Emmeline Pear says this shall be counted as phase 1 and priority will be given to students who have not been engaged in remote learning as well as students preparing for exit exams. Minister Pear says such a decision was taken after meeting with representative groups within the education sector and identifying academic, social and behavioral concerns associated with remote learning.
Secondary schools on Mondays only, forms 1 and 2. Tuesdays only, forms 3 and 4. And this is only for the students who are disconnected from classes. Primary schools, Mondays only for KG to grade 2. And Tuesdays, grades 3 to 5. 4+ students, Wednesdays to Fridays.
The minister hints at the overall decline in pass rates at CAPE, CSEC and CPEA in mathematics and English A as other critical factors leading to the resumption of in-class learning. Teacher and student engagement disparities were also highlighted as major factors.
Primary level, grade 6 only from Wednesdays to Fridays. And secondary school level, form 5s only from Wednesdays to Friday.
According to the Education Minister, special needs students and students with underlying conditions are encouraged to remain home, while parents still fearful of physical classes can use the 2 weeks to adapt.
Only students disconnected remotely. T.A. Marischal Community College, Mondays and Tuesdays, year 1 only. And Wednesdays to Friday, year 2s only.
Private schools reopening, Minister Pear notes, will be done on a case-by-case basis after an electronic application is filed. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
President of the GUT, Jude Bartholomew, is suggesting that education officials seek teachers' COVID-19 vaccination records from the same place others have sought out that information. This is the latest stance taken by the leader of the Grenada Union of Teachers as he reiterated his union's position against mandatory vaccination. We get more in this report from Cherry and Blackman-Stephen.
When I was vaccinated, other persons, there's a record there. What is your occupation? The Ministry of Health has the information. So one would want to say, if the government of Grenada or the Ministry of Education wants that information on any teacher or any public officer who has been vaccinated, they will get it from the Ministry of Health and let them do the honorable thing and get it from there.
President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, is not pleased with requests made to teachers for the disclosure of their vaccination records. Bartholomew said that no one has the authority to divulge one's medical records without their permission, and the unsigned document, which was sent by the Ministry of Education seeking such disclosure, is not right. The GUT president responded to this request during Monday's To The Point program.
The Minister of Grenada did come out and said that the vaccination rate amongst teachers and children are abysmal. To say this sort of statement, it means that the Prime Minister would have had some record of information where we would have gotten the information. And what we want to say to the Ministry of Education, the same place where the Prime Minister of Grenada would have gotten that information, to come out and say that the vaccination among teachers is abysmal, he can direct them there to go for that information.
Education Minister Emmeline Payne admitted during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing that they failed in their attempts to get teachers' vaccination records.
As it relates to the vaccination status of teachers, I do not have statistics on that. We made an attempt last week to gather that information. There was some reluctance. We didn't think it was necessary to go other ways to obtain it. So at this time, we are still collecting that data as it relates to teachers who are vaccinated.
Bartholomew said that the ministry went one step further by requesting the vaccination records for students. Cherry and Blackman-Stephen, GBN News.
Several adjustments and changes have been made to the COVID-19 regulations, which have again been renewed to continue the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. The modifications surround the mandatory vaccination requirement for dropping off children at daycares, more businesses to be reopened, and churches being given further privileges. We get more details in this report.
The change to that is that it is no longer required, and all of these facilities would make special arrangements to ensure that these persons do not enter the facility and that there is care and protection in the manner in which students or children are dropped off and picked up.
The outcry against mandatory vaccination of individuals who are dropping off or picking up children at daycares has seemingly been heard. Dive shops, drive-in schools can be reopened, and call centers with specific mandates for employers and employees to present vaccination status to operate are some of the other changes in the new regulations. Education Minister Emmeline Payne notes that the curfew period and travel restrictions to Carriacou remains as is, with Cabinet to consider a review once the COVID situation continues to improve.
Social gatherings and weddings are still prohibited. Individuals can still obtain marriage licenses. Wedding is a social concept, and that is what is prohibited, not marriages.
On the issue of the reopening of churches, Minister Pierre, who is also responsible for religious affairs, says a consensus between the umbrella bodies for the various churches and government has always been sought.
There has never been an occasion from the start of COVID-19 to this point where the government on its own has taken any decision as it relates to how churches function during the pandemic.
Therefore, upon receiving further recommendations from the church bodies, the Religious Affairs Minister says Cabinet has given its approval.
That is, that our churches will reopen with immediate effect, with their full numbers as far as 6 feet physical distancing allows. So
the grouping of churches had previously suggested 2 weeks of observation while maintaining a 20-member congregation. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And that's the end of the first segment of news, but still to come, no changes to nationwide curfew, and Sandals Resort bestowed 12 awards as it celebrates its 40th anniversary. Stay with us. More news is next.
Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when left, you come first. Save energy, save a time, reduce your wattage and reduce your time. When you use appliances, make sure you buy energy efficient every time. Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when left, you come first. Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when left, you come first.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here even when the future seems unclear, because one thing is certain: you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Store foods safely in the event of an emergency or disaster. Check expiry dates and store items that are closer to expiration at the front of the cupboard. Protect opened packages of dried items from pests and losing freshness by placing them in containers with lids. Always keep food covered and stored away from cleaning items. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
Introducing YouTube and TikTok to the Digicel Prime Bundle. Now get 1 GB daily to enjoy more YouTube. Plus 1 GB daily to like more TikTok videos. It's simply more entertainment bundled together. Get a 7-day bundle for $35 in My Digicel. More apps, more data, more fun. Digicel, better together.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Cards have you covered, best believe. Cards Ready Cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all. We on the go. Cards Ready Cash, you already know. We got it all. We on the go. Cards Ready Cash, always ready when you're ready. Let's go.
Cards Ready Cash, ready when you are.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here even when the future seems unclear, because one thing is certain: you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to the news. The number of COVID-19 cases is trending downwards, which has also resulted in a significant drop in COVID-19 related deaths and hospitalization. However, Dr. Mayana Charles says this positive trend is seemingly having a negative impact on vaccination numbers and interests. We get more in this development.
Senior Medical Officer Dr. Mayana Charles says a slow uptick in vaccinations has been identified as positive trends are realized in a number of cases related deaths and hospitalizations. From September 21st to present, Dr. Charles says the weekly average new cases stood at 113 before dropping steadily.
The following week it was 61, then a further drop to 31, and the last epi week, the average new cases for that week was 16. As it relates to deaths during that same period, the week of September 21st to 27th, we had an average of 55 deaths in that week. And then it declined to 27, further dropped to 18, and the last week, 9.
The medical doctor says the same pattern applied for hospitalization and the test positivity rate.
But what we did see, as the average new cases, deaths, and hospitalization improved, right, the vaccine uptake tend to decline. So as we go back to September 21st to 27th, in terms of first doses administered in that week, we had in excess of 1,200 doses. That further declined in the following week to just over 1,500 doses, and then under 1,000. And in the last week, we administered 811 doses.
The senior medical officer says a decline or delay has also been witnessed among individuals coming forward for their second dose.
In regards to the AstraZeneca vaccine, now persons that lack that period between your first dose and your second dose, based on guidelines, manufacturer guidelines, is 4 to 12 weeks. As it relates to the Pfizer vaccine, that period is 21 to 28 days.
She says despite individuals not losing their status and the effectiveness not dropping regardless of the lapse in the first and second dose, one can only be considered fully vaccinated 14 days after receiving the second dose.
Once you received your first dose, you do not need to restart the regimen if there is a lapse in that recommended time period, right? And the two time periods, you have as much as 28 days with Pfizer and AstraZeneca 3 months. So you do not need to come back to restart your regimen if there is a delay. If the time has passed and you come forward, you will receive a second dose and you're not restarting to get another first dose.
Dr. Charles is urging Grenadians to not become complacent and get vaccinated, while coupling it with the health and safety measures of wearing your mask, social distancing, and sanitization in order to prevent another outbreak. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
The Bridge Learning Institute is boasting of an 86% success rate in CXC results, as the NGO says they have positively impacted much more lives than they anticipated, with only just 1 year of existence. The program gives single parents, vulnerable adults, among others, a second chance in obtaining an education by providing them with free CXC classes so they can sit the exams. Rena Perry-Thomas has more.
Run mostly by volunteerism, Bridge Learning Institute says that out of their 144 students sitting CXC exams for 2021, 129 passed all subjects attempted. The institute, which launched amid the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, offers free CXC classes to anyone wanting a second chance in education. One of the teachers in the program, Shamara Lewis, says despite the challenges, students showed dedication and made sacrifices to ensure that they attended classes and finished assignments. She gave a breakdown of the successful passes.
My students, how are you today? How was it yesterday? Is everybody okay mentally? Because we had to ensure that that was okay across the board before we proceeded to have class. So HSB and integrated science both at 100%. Social studies 70%, POB 100% as well, OA 97%, English 80%, and math 37%. Now, I want to speak a little on the math. It may seem as if it's somewhat an insignificant number, but we must remember that we have students that probably saw math. The last time they saw math was probably in grade 3. And the last time they probably attempted to do some sort of big exam for math was probably in Form 3.
One of the founders of Bridge, Michelle Alexander, says initially the program only catered for 15 students, but eventually went over the 200 mark. Additionally, she said they were also able to help some people pay for exams through the help of others.
Whilst the Grenada Movement was a non-government organization, they decided to be our major collaborator. They came on board and they helped us in terms of funding and also to assist the students that weren't financially able to pay for this subject. So that's one of the things we did. The numbers this year is way more than last year, especially now that results are out and students are sharing their experience and their successes. We have seen an increase in the number of persons that are interested to join the institution. However, we may not be able to take in every one of them, but those that we can take, we will take.
Halima Charles says that to make her dreams of becoming a qualified teacher a reality, she had to obtain math and the social studies to attend through Bridge Learning Institute. She was successful and is now enrolled at TAMCC.
So it was really difficult coming down to the ending. There were times that I thought, okay, I don't know why I come back in this. I finished school ages. I was sort of discouraged, but having lecturers being able to motivate you and push you through, this was a really excellent job. And I'm proud of myself today. All right, currently at the TA Marisha Community College under the Teaching Education Program, Early Childhood. And that's the reason for furthering my education, because I had to get social studies in order to be a part of this program. So that's why I went ahead with it.
Bridge Learning Institute is now accepting new students to sit the 2022 CXC exams and has now added CAPE classes as a new component to the program. They are encouraging everyone to take advantage of the opportunity as they are never too old to learn. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett-Thomas reporting.
Sandals Resort International is celebrating its 40th anniversary and is also celebrating its receipt of 12 prestigious awards. We get the details in this report.
Grenada stood out at the 28th Annual Caribbean and North America World Travel Awards 2021. The ceremony, held virtually on October 18th, saw Sandals International receiving 12 awards. Dillian Forrester is the Public Relations Manager at Sandals Resort Grenada.
It was announced at the 28th Annual Caribbean and North America World Travel Awards that Sandals Resorts has won big again, and we are so elated that Sandals Grenada has stood out at the top of the chain as the Caribbean's leading luxury all-inclusive resort for 2021 and Grenada's leading resort. This is a major achievement for us. It's actually the third year that we would have won this specific award as the leading luxury all-inclusive resort for the entire Caribbean.
The resort received awards in the area of Caribbean Leading Hotel Brand 2021, Sandals Resort International, Caribbean Leading All-Inclusive Family Resort 2021, Beaches, Turks and Caicos. Caribbean Leading Luxury All-Inclusive Resort 2021 came to Sandals Grenada. Caribbean's Leading Resort 2021, Sandals Royal Barbados. Caribbean Leading Honeymoon Resort 2021, Sandals South Coast, Jamaica, among others. As part of Sandals Resort International's 40th anniversary, they are embarking on what it calls a 40 for 40 team member support project. This project seeks to improve and promote community tourism and bring transformational change and improve lives.
For Grenada, we really want to focus on community tourism. We know it's been a buzzword, but we do have our eyes on a couple of special areas. As I said, community tourism, things positively impacting the environment, whether it be conservation, reforestation, mangrove preservation, things like that.
The selected proposals will be funded by Sandals for 1 year and then reviewed. Forrester spoke on the requirements.
So for the team member projects, the 20 team member support projects, we asked our Sandals team to look around in their communities, maybe the school that they went to, their alma maters, or any other group that they're involved in, and propose a project that we can fund and support for the year. And then outside of that, we want NGOs, community development groups, farmers, craftsmen, artists, anyone to propose something that can advance and transform the community.
Applicants have until the end of November to put forward their proposals. One entity or organization can submit more than one proposal. Sustainability, Forrester says, is a key component. Kristalina John, GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Rena Perry-Thomas has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
Last Friday, GBN told the story of a 12-year-old student who is seeking your help for a chance of life. Odell Willington needs funds to have his kidney replaced. This young man's mother is troubled by his failing health and inability to enjoy life to the fullest. You, our online audience, took to the comment section to empathize with the family and pray for better health for the youngster. Kelly Francis said, "I felt so saddened by this situation. It brought tears to my eyes. Wish this child could get the kidney transplant and everything goes well so that he could go back to normal ways of life. Lord, come to his aid." Marianne Andel commented, "Lord, heal him and keep his family strong. He have a great future and he needs you in Jesus' name." Sandra Phillips says, "I pray God's intervention, healing, and deliverance in his life. May he be healed in Jesus' holy name." Camilla Antoine commented, "I pray, Lord, they get the financial support he needs. Lord, have thy way." Sarah Franklin said, "Lord Jesus, may they find the finances needed to go through the procedure." Son Pierre finally commented, "God is great. Just keep trusting him and he will make a way. I pray that everything will work out soon." That's the buzz for now. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platform.
And from the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN Eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Security and earnings can come from your backyard. So says our citizen journalist. Food security is defined by the Food and Agriculture Organization as, quote, when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Studies indicate that subsistence agriculture or backyard gardening can play an important role in reducing the vulnerability of rural and urban food insecure households, improving livelihoods, and helping to mitigate high food price inflation. Our citizen journalist says these avocados were grown in their backyard in Tempe. We thank our Eyesore reporter for this submission. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
And still to come, cybersecurity advocate calls for more public education targeting the digital world and cybercrime. GBN News, more is next.
Run
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform. Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers. Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Looking for a professional team offering around-the-clock, private and confidential nursing, medical care, and aid services? Then look no further. Nurses Care Grenada is a fully certified, insured, and licensed healthcare facility committed to the reduction and eventual elimination of healthcare disparities affecting the nation. Our registered nurses will visit you at your home, assess your condition, and provide the required treatment under the directive of a doctor. So why worry when there's Nurses Care Grenada? Give us a call, 406-3928. Nurses Care, reliable, trusted professionals we can all depend on.
Let's get tough on greed and larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all the people, 300 for police for them thieving fellas. To all the families, don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels, and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop radio larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report pre-deal larceny, call 300.
Welcome back to the news. A cybersecurity advocate in Grenada believes financial institutions on the island need to educate their clients more on how they should secure their money in the digital world. He said more and more people are being scammed out of their hard-earned money, and to eradicate this issue, more needs to be done. Rena Perry-Thomas tells us more.
Cyber criminals commit cyber crimes to steal people's money and their identity. With your identity, they can take out loans, accumulate debt, and flee without a trace. As many workers settle into remote work routines due to the pandemic, cyber crimes are expected to grow in frequency in 2021 and 2022. And many cybersecurity experts are encouraging businesses and individuals to upgrade, educate, and practice better cybersecurity strategies. Local cybersecurity advocate Jervis Dabrio is doing the same, as he is calling on financial institutions to educate the Grenadian public more on cybersecurity and how they can better protect their finances from scammers.
Financial literacy is not just about savings. It's not just about you being able to take out a loan and plan your budget and organize that. I think it is a little bit more than that now, especially with all that's happening. And if that is what we're heading towards, then we must empower our people. So I expect the credit unions, in whatever little way, whether it is in your whatever program you have on radio, whether it's on your Facebook page, put something out. let's help secure our people, because people are losing money.
With Grenada gradually rolling into digital currency, Gabriel believes it is a critical time to educate the public on protecting their digital wallets.
If this is going to happen, then people are going to have digital wallets. They will have to secure the digital wallets. But of course, before you get to securing a digital wallet, you have to be able to secure the little email addresses. And so we must have a conversation about passwords and how you secure that. How do people use their cards? You don't, give somebody your credit card and let it out of sight. Because if they're able to get the information off of that, then they're able to use the card as you. These little things I think people need to be aware of.
The cybersecurity expert encouraged more individuals to also educate themselves, as most cybercrimes are carried out using computers and other smart devices. For GBN News, I am Rena P. Thomas reporting.
Grenada's Prime Minister is keen to see countries forge ahead with population and housing census despite COVID-19 challenges.
Enumeration is scheduled to begin on November 1st in Grenada. Grenada, like other countries, have been forced to delay the start of its national population and housing census due to the pandemic. It has also altered the methodology used to conduct enumeration to ensure compliance with COVID-19 protocols. Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, message delivered on the occasion of Caribbean Statistics Day expresses keenness to see Caribbean countries forge ahead with their respective national population and housing census, despite the challenges posed by the pandemic. Dr. Mitchell, who is the CARICOM statistics champion, said the census is the most important statistical activity of any country.
The census will enable us to begin addressing issues related to gender equity, the elderly, food insecurity, and internet access. The population census can provide benchmark data, disaggregated by sex, age, health, disability status, educational attainment, economic activity, and other important information about our economy, society, and the environment. In addition to providing critical information, this activity will build the foundation of a strong statistical infrastructure and national statistical system for the next 10 years, as it will be used as a sample frame for the most of the surveys between census years.
Dr. Mitchell says the current technology allows for countries to conduct contactless census using computer-assisted telephone interviewing and computer-assisted web interviewing. The Prime Minister underscored the importance of statistical data in national development. He noted, too, that despite its negative impacts, the pandemic also presents an opportunity to build a resilient statistical infrastructure through the infusion of information communication technology, the ICT, into statistics. Caribbean Statistics Day was observed under the theme, Leave No One Behind, Everyone Counts. Christelina John, GBN News.
And that brings us to the end of the third segment of this evening's news. Stay with us. The weather report and forecast is up next, followed by sports and around the globe.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
Sporting fanatics, welcome to our sports roundup. Cricket West Indies has announced the match schedule and venues for the much anticipated England T20 International and Test Tours of the West Indies in January and March 2022. The England men's series in the Caribbean forms a focal point for one of the West Indies men's busiest years of the international home series cricket. England will arrive in the Caribbean to play the first ever 5-match T20 International Series between the two teams. All 5 matches in Barbados will be played across a 9-day period from January 22nd, 2022 to January 30th, 2022. It will include 2 consecutive weekends of back-to-back T20I cricket. The much-anticipated Test Series will start at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua on March 8th, 2022, before moving to the Kensington Oval in Barbados for the second test starting on March 16th. The third test match will bowl off on March 24th on the Spice Isle of Grenada at the National Cricket Stadium. Former champions Sri Lanka overcame initial hiccups to subdue an inexperienced yet spirited Namibia by 7 wickets, beginning their quest to make the Super 12 stage of the T20 World Cup in right earnest. The Sri Lanka bowlers dominated the inexperienced Namibia lineup to bundle them out for 96 after inviting them to bat and then overhaul the target with 6.3 overs to spare a group match of the first round.
Greg Williams was the anchor for Namibia, batting first against the more experienced Sri Lankans.
And safely taken.
His innings of 29 runs included 2 sixes. His partnership of 39 with captain Gerhard Erasmus saw them from 29 for 2 to 68 for 3. That was their biggest partnership of the innings. Mahesh Teshana was the chief destroyer for Sri Lanka as he took 3 wickets for 25 or 4 overs.
To his hands, which he does, another wicket goes down.
Lahiru Kimara and Wanindu De Silva also took 2 wickets as Namibia were bundled out for 96.
Has been superb.
In reply, the Sri Lankans were at one stage on 26 for 3. Kusal Pereira added 11.
Yes, he does.
Patam Nisanka was out for 5.
And that might be close too. That might be close. It's close enough. Scholes gets a wicket.
And Dinesh Chandimal added 5 runs.
There an age there? Is there an age there? There is.
However, Avishka Fernando hit 30 not out alongside Banuka Rajapaksa, who made 42 as they reached 100 for the loss of 3 wickets in the 14th over. Surgeon for TV6 Sport.
And that's the sports news for now. Stay with us for global developments.
Keeping an eye on the weather, this is GBN. We've got you covered.
Let's take a look at tonight's weather report and forecast. It will be partly cloudy to cloudy with a few brief to widely scattered showers and possible lightning and thunder, improving during the early morning. Winds will be easterly to east-southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas will be slight to moderate, waves 2 to 4 feet in open waters. In the 3-day forecast, on Wednesday, sunrise will be 5:58 a.m., sunset 5:47 p.m. The weather will be generally fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy at times, with a possible isolated showers, increasing in cloudiness overnight with some brief to scattered showers accompanied by lightning and thunder. On Thursday, sunrise will be 5:58 a.m., sunset 5:47 p.m. The weather will be partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with some brief to widely scattered showers and possible lightning and thunder, improving during the evening. Looking ahead to Friday, sunrise 5:57 a.m., sunset 5:58 p.m. The weather will be generally fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with a few brief showers. And that's it for tonight's weather report and forecast. Krista Campbell is next with sports.
Hello and welcome to our probe around the globe. Over in St. Lucia, Labor Minister Virginia Albert Poyet says the Philip J. Pear administration is committed to protecting workers' rights. One local company recently fired dozens for failing to comply with a new health and safety protocol that requires all employees to show proof of vaccination. Some of the axed workers are also discovering termination of employment benefits is not legislated and is paid out at the discretion of the employer. The Labor Minister says stakeholder discussions with local trade unions and employers are advancing to hash out an amicable resolve.
While trade unions and government agencies consult legal advisors, thousands in the local labor force are without severance pay assurances, and employment prospects for unvaccinated workers appear to be drying up. A growing number of local companies are introducing workplace vaccine mandates. Forced to decide whether to take the jab to keep the job, these policies are driving non-compliant employees out of the workplace and onto unemployment lines. Labor Minister Virginia Albert Poyet now confronts the emerging private sector trend where workers who don't get vaxxed can get axed. Poyet maintains protecting workers' rights remains a priority for the Labour Party administration. More than a dozen workers previously employed at a manufacturing plant were fired for failing to comply with a new workplace vaccine mandate. In addition to losing what was their only source of income, the terminated workers are unlikely to receive severance pay due to a legal loophole in the labor code. Local trade unions, however, argue the firings were unlawful. The Labour Minister hopes stakeholder talks will chart a course to securing employee benefits. Meanwhile, at least one trade union, the Civil Service Association, has appealed to local employers to refrain from sacking workers who are unwilling to get vaccinated. Moreover, the Trade Union Federation has also taken an interest and is exploring potential legal remedies to prevent future firings and preserve termination benefits. Rehani Isidore, NBC Prime.
Last Friday, a former magistrate has strongly rebuked the Guyana police force over the Paul Slow fiasco at Georgetown Magistrate Court. The reputation of the Guyana police force will again come under the microscope in an unflattering light, the magistrate reasoned. Here is more from Travis Chase.
Shameful and utterly disgraceful. That's how former Chief Magistrate Juman Yassin, SCE, described Friday's attempt by the police to arrest former Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow, who had turned up at the Georgetown Magistrates Court to answer to several charges. Mr. Yassin, in his letter to the Stabroek News on October 17, 2021, questioned, quote, "Clearly, these four police officers were acting under instructions from a superior. Was it from within the police force or elsewhere? One has to ask, was this necessary? Was this political? What was to be proved? Did Paul Slow thread on a police officer who now has power and wanted to get back at him?" The former chief magistrate, in condemning the attempted arrest of Paul Slow, posited that there was no justification. Mr. Slow, like Mr. Yassim, is contending that he was not hiding or evading arrest and that no arrest warrant was issued by any magistrate for his arrest. Mr. Yassin reasoned that, quote, "What was done to Paul Slow will cause the reputation of the Guyana police force to again come under the microscope in an unflattering light," unquote. The Nightly News understands that Mr. Slow intends to take legal action against the officers seen here as they attempted to arrest him and take him to the inquiry's office, put him in the lockups, handcuff him, and then escort him in the public to the magistrate for a matter he's already before the court. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Internationally, a hypersonic missile would allow China to fire a nuclear warhead faster than anyone else. Britain's Financial Times said Beijing launched the weapon this summer.
Tonight, China denying reports it test-fired a hypersonic missile, technology that would allow it to fire a nuclear warhead faster than anyone else. Britain's Financial Times saying Beijing test-launched the weapon this summer, sending it into space and around the planet before it landed just 25 miles away from its intended target. Hypersonic glide weapons can fly 5 times the speed of sound and lower than conventional weapons.
The U.S. does not currently have the ability to even track this weapon, much less defeat it. It will give the Chinese the ability to conduct a nuclear strike anywhere in the world without warning.
The US and Russia are also developing this capability, but it's thought they're far behind China in this particular weapons race. The report, which can't be independently verified by ABC News, says that US intelligence services had no idea that China was so far ahead. China denies it was a hypersonic missile, calling it instead a routine test of a reusable spacecraft. But this will only add to US concerns about China's nuclear buildup.
And that's it for our probe around the globe. Blossom is up next with a review of the main points.
And now let's take a look back at what made the news this evening. Police tight-lipped and no charges laid yet against 5 Trinidadian nationals captured in movie-style sea chase following daylight bank robbery in Carriacou yesterday. Students returned to physical classrooms for 2 weeks test period from November 1st. Government backpedals on regulations for daycare centers but makes no changes to curfew. From an initially planned 15-student program to more than 200 students, Bridge Learning Institute beams with CXC success stories. In around the globe, St. Lucia Labour Minister engaged the private sector on COVID-19 vaccination mandate. Internationally, China denies tests fired a hypersonic missile. In sports, Barbados, Antigua and Grenada will be venues for England T20 international and test tours to the West Indies. That's the end of the GBN Nightly News for Tuesday, October 9th. 19th, 2021. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on the GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. On behalf of the entire news team, our sportscaster Krista Campbell, I am Blossom Alexis Welsh, wishing you an enjoyable Tuesday night.